I am talking with Miss Saletha Oliver. We're glad to have you here and can't wait to find out more about you.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell us, where are you from?
I am from Mobile, Alabama, born and raised.
Indeed, she sounds proud.
Yes,
Proud of that
ma'am.
one.
I
Awesome,
got myself up
awesome.
to the farm. Yes, ma'am.
So how did you get into the area of writing? How did that start? When did it start? If we could ask
The
that.
funny- okay, the funny thing is when I was in kindergarten or first grade, I wrote, we was writing, I wrote a poem about a rose
Oh,
and it won first place.
oh wow.
So yes, I got eliminated and everything. And then when I got in seventh grade, my teacher, I'll never forget her name, Miss Cornett. She was it was my language teacher.
Mhm.
And she did a Langston Hughes poem that we had to fill in the blanks, and I fell in love.
Oh,
And I was,
really?
yes, ma'am, I was writing ever since.
And so you have a new book that we're going to discuss here in a minute. The
Mhm,
copy of it is being published right now, and will be available for everyone to purchase. By the time you
mhm,
view this segment, it'll be available or listen for those that are listening, because
mhm,
we do have two formats here. For those that are listening, the book will be available at various platforms: Amazon, Barnes and Noble, vmhbooks.com as well. And
mhm,
also, Miss Oliver will set up various platforms. So follow her, find her on social media. But let's get back to what we were discussing in terms of this passion
mhm,
and this area that you found at a young age,
mhm.
that seems to be a course of life, because you have a new book,
Yes, ma'am.
children's book, that is
Yes.
beautifully designed and well written. What's
Yes,
the
ma'am.
name of
Thank
that
you.
book? Tell us about it.
Well, the name of the book is The Adventures of ChiChi by Mr. Bunny. And it was basically a story about when my daughter was younger. Her grandparents gave her, each grandparent, from my side and from my husband's side, they gave her, stuffed animals. And it's just those animals have stuck with her through every move we've been in, every move we've made, and everything. And so I just wrote a story about it one day, how they were always together. How she talks to them, and the book that when you read it, it's basically like true life. Some of the stuff has actually happened. How she talks to them, how she used to talk to them. She actually named them, and that's how it came about. And we love them. We call them our grandkids. So that's like 14 years,
Oh wow.
of her, yes, of her having these stuffed animals, and we love them. And I just wanted to write a story about, when she was younger and how they, made an impact in our lives, I guess.
And so, in terms of the storyline, how old is your daughter now? So she's
She's
had these.
14.
How old is
Mhm.
she?
She's 14.
14. So she still has the stuffed animals.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
That is
ma'am.
so
She has them.
beautiful.
And
Oh,
they're in good condition. I mean, she loves them, and they've been like 14 years. No one really keeps an animal 14 years. She's had these stuffed animals since she was born and born.
and so with
Yes,
that
ma'am.
said, clearly, and it's ChiChi Ba and Mr.
Yes,
Bunny. How do you spell
yes.
that? ChiChi Ba
ChiChi and BA. Yes,
and Mr. Bunny.
yes.
So clearly, ChiChi Ba and Mr. Bunny
Hmm.
are like a part of the family. 14 years. That's quite a long
Yeah.
time.
She grew up with them. Me and my husband, we call them our grandkids. I mean, we really we make voices for them. My husband makes voices for them. My son does. It's a whole thing around here.
Oh, wow. So, okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
from that, what made you want to go into this children's book, turning this real life situation for
Mhm.
your daughter and the
Mhm.
family ultimately
Yes.
into a children's book series? Because
Well,
I understand it's going to be a series. You have the one,
yes.
right? The Adventures of Chi Chi Ba and Mr. Bunny.
Mhm.
How did you go, or what made you have the thought of going from real life to children's book
Mhm.
with these stuffed animals?
Well, I've always wanted to write. That's all I've wanted to do. I've written poetry or books, but I just, when I have a goddaughter, so I was like, and we buy books for her and things like that. So I was like, what if I write my own, about the story of my daughter and her animals? So, and this adventure, the first adventure is the first encounter with Shadow, is about the family cat. but it's so much that happened in the 14 years of her having these animals. Like when we went to the playground, and so when the first time they got washed, I mean, it was just I said I can make that out of you know, a whole series. So the adventures that she's been on, that we have them, since we had them, I'm just gonna write about it.
And you have already, and again, the books
Mhm,
are available at Amazon,
mhm.
Barnes and Noble, vmhbooks.com as well. And then, of course, follow. How can people follow you on social media?
Well,
How, you're on
I'm
Facebook,
on,
correct?
yeah, I do Facebook. My name is Saletha Oliver. I'm going to do my Instagram. My daughter's got to set it up for me. I know that sounds a little sad, but like that, when I get my Instagram, I'll let you guys know, that too. But I am on Facebook. It's just Saletha Oliver. You can look me up.
Saletha Oliver, that's
Yes, ma'am.
Saletha Oliver. Find her, and
Yes, ma'am.
also the books as well. So now
Mhm.
let's go into this area of writing.
Mhm.
And Langston Hughes was
Yeah.
impact at a very young, the poetry that won first place, that was sure an indication. But the second time with Langston Hughes in this fill in the blank. And how old were you at that point? Do you recall?
I know it was seventh grade. I'm not good with ages, but I know it was in seventh grade.
Seventh grade. So from seventh grade on, you've been writing.
I've been writing ever
Wow.
since. Every situation, it's the situations I go through. And if anyone writes, anything that you go through in life, you write about.
Mhm.
So, when I'm in church, or I write for people in the church. It's just whatever God gives me is what I, give them. I can't say I know some of the people I write for. It's just whatever God puts in my spirit, I write and I present it to them.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Mhm.
So do you think you're en route to a career, a
I
full
hope I
as a writer?
I think so. I have a lot of material, and that's all I've been wanting to do ever since I was a little girl. I mean, it's taken me some time to get there, but now that I'm there, I'm going to continue to do it.
Indeed, indeed.
Mhm,
Now, okay, with the let's a lot of people feel that they have a story to tell. A lot of people
mhm.
feel that they should write a book. What was the
Yes.
process for when was it that you decided, okay, I understood that you shared with us a while ago that you'd been
Mhm,
buying children's books for your goddaughter,
mhm.
and clearly for your
Yeah.
daughter at some point, but then you said, you know what?
Mhm,
I can write my own. Okay, we got that part. But when was it
mhm,
that you decided, okay, I'm going to publish?
mhm,
And what was that process like for you to get to the place of actually taking it from thought to,
mhm.
no, I'm going to do this now?
Well, um, I was working. I used to do insurance, so I was in Texas actually, a year ago. And so I was like, at that time it was kind of slow. So I just started writing the book. I was done within about a day or two.
Oh, wow.
And so I talked to my husband. He read it. I have a great husband, by the way. And he,
What's your
he
husband's name? Let us know that. What's your husband's name?
my husband name is Mario House, and he's a great supporter. So when he read it, he was like, "That's good. You wrote this in a day?" I said, "Yeah." And so he said, "Okay, so let somebody else read to see what they think." So I let my mom read it. She loved it. And my daughter, she was like, "Oh my God." So everybody who read it actually loved it. I'm like, all right, I might try to see what I can do, to see if I can, get it published, because I wasn't thinking, I just wrote it. Everybody loved it. So I said, my husband, and when I wrote it, came back home, wasn't thinking about anything. He said he called you guys. And
Oh,
I remember, yes, and so because I guess I kept talking about it, and so I guess he decided to put it into action, and he actually was the one to give you guys a call and see what we can do and how we can get it published.
now, guys, for those of you that don't know, I am. My name is Vicki Jones, and in addition to publishing a magazine, which is how this particular show is coming about, excuse me, and the podcast for those of you that are listeners, my work started with books, with publishing books. And what happened is I wanted people like Saletha and so many others that we've published to be able to have the opportunity for the professional mainstream appeal and marketable books quality that the majors have. And so there was not a lane for that to the degree that I felt it should be. So I started a company over a decade ago in publishing books. And from there, what I found out is that um, a lot of mainstream media would not give these authors a voice.
Mhm.
And once their books was published, so that's how VMH magazine came from there. And so this is how this segment is taking place,
Mhm.
because primarily when you hear Miss Oliver or Saletha talk about her husband contacted us, she's talking about the VMH publishing, which is the book
Mhm.
publishing side that also gives publicity to the authors once they've written their books and need to get it out there into the world, such as Salitha has. And so, okay, so from that point, in terms of the publishing process on your side, because of course we know it on our side,
Yes.
okay, so when you made the step, your husband called,
Mhm.
and what was your thoughts after taking your the initial call by your husband, who's very supportive, and then
Mhm.
you're going through this process. What has that
Mhm.
been like for you? For those that don't know.
Well, the thing about it, it's been smooth. I would say smooth. The reason I said is because, like my mom said, anything God's in is smooth. And so it's like it just went. So we contacted you. We let you know we were VMH Publishing. Contacted you guys, and it was like, okay, we're ready. I'm like, okay. So I had to, just send over stuff. It just went smooth. It was no confusion. I mean, I'm blessed, and from how it went. It wasn't rocky. It wasn't, when I send an email, you guys get right back to me. It's been awesome. I don't know what everybody else experience has been like with other companies, but I'm really, I'm honored, really.
Thank you for that.
Um,
I wasn't
mhm.
expecting but thank you for that. We
Yes,
do
ma'am.
appreciate it. And we want, for those of you again that are listening, I am the founder of VMH Publishing, and we
Mhm.
are
Mhm.
completing the publishing of Miss Salitha's book. And so we do want you to purchase the book. It's beautiful. Oh
Mhm.
my God. Her storytelling is, we're so excited for
Yes,
her. And
ma'am.
then the fact that she's actually loves literature. She loves the
Mhm.
process of storytelling. So where do you see okay, so what's the lineup? Now that you're on the other side, the book is
Mhm.
finalized and you're
Mhm.
what now? So you have a series to this? What is your
I
thought process?
do. Well, this series, I do have a series, and so it's gonna go by ages. For so the books that she's a baby's probably from 3 to 5 range, or older. But I'm gonna go to when she's, a baby, that she's gonna be in school. So I'm trying to take it because I have this big story in my mind where I want her to go, where I want these characters in her to go. And so this is just a children's book. I mean, I have oh my God, like I said, I have poetry books. I have, for older people. So, but this series is it's not going to be just like a 3 book series. It's going to go till she, gets older, and the characters are going to grow with her. It's a whole thing.
Wonderful, wonderful. So children of all, your daughter right now, Miss Salitha, Miss Oliver's daughter right now is
Mhm.
14 years old. And so
Yes.
here we have from infancy up
Mhm.
until a teen, where this series is going to be able to take children.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
as far as your poetry and then some of the other stories that you have, what is it that compels you with the poetry and
Well,
the writing there?
well, my thing is, you know how they say women are emotional anytime, and I love music. So music, when I hear it, sometimes I get, inspiration off the music I hear. What's going on in the world, I get inspiration off that. So um anything like that, it's just, I guess what captures me, I guess, and I write about it. So I don't have a, it's just whatever, you know moves me, I write about, as
Indeed,
far as the poetry.
indeed. Now, what would you say to people? There are a lot of folks who, again, they have the idea, they
Hmm.
have the thought, but they
Hmm.
don't take action. You have. What
Yeah.
would you say to them? Why have you taken action?
Well, because when you get a certain age, I just turned 40 this year. Thank God for that.
You don't look for
Yeah. So,
you're
you
early
know,
30s. But anyway, it's okay. I thought
okay.
you was much younger.
Oh no, ma'am, I'm big 40. And it's just like when you turn 40, when I turned 40, I was like, okay, I've done everything, not everything, but for my family, I try to make sure they're okay. And my son, he's had a lot of health issues. And you know, my life was for my kids and my husband, so I was like, they're getting on. My son's 19.
Oh,
And
wow.
so
Oh,
yeah,
wow. You're a
so
19-year-old.
I have 19-year-olds. So I have a
Your
19 and
face
14 year
is
old.
so youthful. But anyway, that's a side note.
The good Lord. So, but once they're getting older now, and I'm like, they don't want to hang around their mom anymore. So, they're going their separate ways. So I'm like, what can I do? What I'm gonna do. So I've been right. So I said, I have all this material, just see what happens. And I get a bit nervous because you want to make sure people like it, and but I have had so much support in my family. Anytime I write something, anytime someone asks me to write something, I take it through my mom and my husband. And they tell me, honesty, let me know if you like it, if you don't. I've just had the support. And when I told her, she said, "Oh my God, go for it." And to me, it's about support because my husband, he was like, "I'm gonna stand behind you. Whatever you want to do it." And he said, whatever we have to pay for, we'll do it. So when he said that, I was like, all right. So, and I had, what I wanted to do, I did take on a job, to do it as well. And it's just whenever you want to do, you have to make it work.
Indeed.
You have to make it work.
And
And that's
so
what
let's go back to this. So what you're saying is what you did is you took on a job to tell me about that. Tell me what are you talking about in that area? Because you
well,
mentioned
'cause when I came home from Texas, I wasn't working. Because my husband, he work, go out and work. But when I told him what I wanted to do and we seen, like the pricing and how much it was, he said, well, let me go do what I have to do. He um, went out of town. He's out of town now working. And I got me a job because, the household still have to be taken care of. So, and he said, whatever you make, that it's yours. You do what you have to do with it. Go do for pay for the book, do what you have to do, and he'll put whatever doesn't go into the household into my dream. So
your dream.
yes, ma'am. hmm this is a dream, and it's coming true, and I'm just super excited. Yeah. hmm
Applaud, applaud, applaud. And the reason why I'm applauding is because I'm a person that believes in people taking action on things
hmm
that are in their hearts,
Yes.
and some refer to as dreams,
hmm
passion.
hmm
Because there are a lot of people that they talk about it or they may want to, they
hmm
have the ideas, but they never take actions, and so
Yes.
because you
hmm
never know what can happen, and that's
Exactly.
how the business that I have evolved,
hmm
and because I knew that I wanted to do something, I had to do something, and I
Yes.
took action, and so you have too.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so, with that said, how do you feel about the things that have happened for you because you took action? Because there are some things. Let me share this with you guys.
Yes.
For Saletha, door things are just falling into place and very fast.
Yes.
They have,
Yes.
so it's like wow. Even for me, I've been
Mhm.
doing, like I said, we've been in this business of publishing for well over a decade, and so it's just surprising to see on this side what happens for those that jump in and move.
Mhm.
And so
Yes.
tell us a little bit about that.
Well, so I don't know how much I can say,
You
but
know, an overview.
so
Just an
but
overview.
yeah, but since I started, like I said, with the finances or whatever, I've had help. Um, VMH Publishing has, told me, just giving me not a deadline. I was just trying to, with my finances, look, you can do this. I'll, take this, but it's just been a blessing. I have never, I'm trying to put this in a simpler term. It's like when someone tells you basically they believe in what you're doing and try to help you achieve that dream, I'm speechless. It's no words to express how I'm humbled and speechless. That's all I can say. Because you guys, you're doing something for me. Like you say, this is a dream of mine. And I never thought it'll come true. And so now that it's happening and the things you guys have done for me to get it done, I'm humbled. That's all I can say.
Well, we're going to do our part, and we are
Hmm.
happy about
Hmm.
the adventures of Mr. ChiChi and Mr. Bunny, and they
Yes,
are looking
ma'am.
phenomenal. That children's book is looking. You have done a
Yes.
phenomenal job. Everything is
Thank
coming has come
you.
together so well for you,
Yes,
guys.
ma'am.
Do purchase your copy of the book. Clearly, Amazon, Barnes and Noble,
Hmm.
just any bookstore, vmhbooks.com will carry the book,
Hmm.
and follow Saletha Oliver on social media. She will be setting up an Instagram page. Anything that you want to say to the people out there as we close on our interview here? Is
Well,
there
I
anything you'd
do.
like to share with them?
Yes, I would like to say for anyone who has a dream, it can come true. I would have never thought, me being wanted, writing and the things I've done to now that I'm 40 years old and my dream is coming true. So anything that you want to do in life, you can get it done. All it takes is belief in yourself and a support system. You could do it.
Indeed, indeed.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that with us. In addition to Mr. Chi Ba and the adventures, I'm sorry, of
Mhm.
Chi Ba, Mr. Bunny, you have also been an inspiration, I'm sure, for those that are listening and for
Mhm.
those that are watching this segment. And we appreciate that. And I suspect that because of who you are, the
Mhm.
person that you are as a person, and your family, including
Mhm.
your husband and his support,
Yes.
I suspect that your writings, the children's book series,
Mhm.
and your poetry, and everything else that you aspire to do in terms of your literature and your writing, I suspect that it will be a success. I think you
Yes.
will be do quite well, and
Yes.
I will say you just keep pushing. I have to
Mhm.
say that, but it looks like you are because the ball is rolling now.
Yes, ma'am. I'm ready
And
for it to keep on
congratulations.
rolling. Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations, and thank you for speaking with us. We
Yes,
look forward to hearing more. Buy
yes,
that
ma'am.
book, guys. Look for The Adventures of ChiChi Ba and Mr. Bunny. It is a series by Saletha Oliver, Saletha Oliver. You can buy the book at the various bookstores and vmhbooks.com. Follow her, and thank you again for joining us, Miss Oliver.
Thank you so much. I love you guys. Thank you guys for all that you do.